Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Heidiy and I'm a knitter based in Finland. Here in my channel we mostly speak about knitting and intentionality and a bit about sustainable style. I was so thrilled about your feedback and all your lovely comments, so thank you. I haven't had the time to answer all of them, but I was so excited and I am so excited to continue making these episodes in English. And today we're gonna do the basic whips and FOs kind of episode. I have had a little castanitis lately and there is not so much to show you in each whip, but let's just get started. Have something nice to drink, maybe a tea or coffee, and something nice to work on, and let's get started. And I apologize the lighting issue. I think it's almost 10 a.m. and it's still very dark outside and I am trusting to my lamp to provide some light. I also have a ring light, but it created so much shadows and it was just not nice, so I will figure out that on sometime later. But now just let's move on to whips. I have some nice rooibos tea and it has a taste of blueberries and it smells really nice. I always think that tea usually smells more nice than it actually tastes, but we'll see. This one is actually quite nice. So let's start with finished objects. No, let's start with what I'm wearing. I have this really beautiful lace weight sweater. It is very loosely based on Petite Knit's Cumulus blouse, but it has totally different gauge and totally different yarn. I knitted this with one strand of hand-dyed alpaca silk from Mokku yarn, which is a Finnish hand dyer, and this is so soft. It is the softest and it still has quite loose gauge and it is very airy and fun. I knitted this almost entirely with one skein. I think I needed the second skein only for like this much of the sleeve or the other sleeve. I made them cropped because I kind of like that, and I also made it quite short because I like to wear high-waisted pants, so there is no need for it to be this long because it would be tucked in the pants either way. And I left out the I-cord because I think this is quite neat as it is. So this is what I'm wearing today. I love it. I think this was my favorite make of 2022. It is so soft and silky, and it's like the basic shirt you would wear from the store, but it is knit and handmade. It's not too thick, but it's quite warm, but still breathable. That was enough rambling of this. Let's move on to whips. It almost rhymed. I love rhymes. What should I show you first? Maybe this one. There is a color scheme, as you can see. This is a Huvila beanie from Urban Knits by Leeni Hoimela. She is a Finnish designer, and this is quite basic ribbed hat, but the decreases on top are a bit different, and I made it very long, longer than in the pattern, because I wanted the triple folded brim to this hat. This is made from some random stash yarn, which was merino from Sandnes garn. It was one of the klompe something yarns, and it was this pinkish, brownish, lilac-y color. And I paired that with hand-dyed mohair from Aara yarn, which is a Finnish hand-dyed yarn. And it was expensive, but it was like my Christmas present for myself. And I think the result is amazing and beautiful and soft. There was slight variegation in the mohair, and in some lighting you can see it in the beanie, but it is very subtle, and I like that. It is soft, it is like a warm hug in your head, and it makes me happy. Now that I have shown it to you, I get to wear it. Even though there is almost no snow anymore. There was a lot of snow, and now there has been raining like crazy. And then there is this, I don't know if there is a word for it in English. It is like half melted snow, which has like dirt and water in it. In Finnish it's called loska, so it is like this smush on the ground that is kind of disgusting, and it wets your shoes and your socks and everything. But yeah, you would probably call it snow, because there is so much snow and there is a long period of snow time in Finland. I think we have many words for snow, but then somewhere it would just be snow. But yeah, that is the loska, and I don't know how I got there. This was, or is, the Huvila hat. Huvila means like vacation house in Finnish, and I think it's beautiful, basic ribbed beanie, and it was quite quick to knit, even though it is very long tube. I knitted this actually just before Christmas. This was my car knit. This was my car knit. I knitted it in the car mostly because I like to knit ribbed things in the car, because somehow the stockinette is just a bit boring for me, but ribbing is, it's almost the same, but it keeps me focused somehow, but I don't have to look at it so much. Yeah, I have some leftovers from the stash yarn and the beautiful Aara mohair. So I think I might do mittens, because one of my goals for this year is to make sets. I really like the color coordinated dressing and also monochromatic looks. So I think matching sets would be a nice thing to have, especially with these muted and sort of a bit different colors. It would be nice to have matching beanie and mittens. Next one, we have another beanie, and it is also ribbed. But this one has a story. Have a sip. So this one has a story. I actually made a balaclava first with this yarn combination, but let me tell you, it made me look like a toddler with a space helmet. I wanted to be this chic urban woman, but I just looked like a toddler. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the colors of the yarn or the thickness, but I looked like a toddler with a space helmet. So I decided to make it into a beanie instead. The original balaclava pattern was from 52 weeks of easy knits, and there was nothing wrong with the pattern. I think it was nice and easy and fun to make, but it just wasn't for me. And this is also from the same book, and this was called Softie, which it is. It is very soft. It is still unblocked and the ends are not woven in, because I'm lazy like that and I actually hate that part of knitting. But yeah, I wanted some big and chunky and I don't know, chunky beanie, and I like to have things that are easily like mixed and matched, and somehow I think this is, even though it is a bit this funfetti kind of look, it would be prettier if I blocked it, but I didn't have time. I knit this in one day actually. Sunday I was having a webinar and I gave a speech there, and somehow it always makes my nervous system go overdrive and I couldn't do anything for the rest of the day. So I just sit and knit, and this is the result. I will hopefully edit some nice picture of it here after it is blocked, and these have disappeared somewhere, and you can see how it looks in my head. I'm not gonna put it on top of this bun because that would look ridiculous. But yes, the yarn is Gepard garn puno, this one. And this one was held double in the beanie, and I actually love this yarn. It is so fun to knit with because I get easily bored. I have ADHD. I just get bored with basic knits very easily, which is kind of a bummer because usually the basics are the ones I would wear the most. So this is kind of one solution to that problem, because it is very fun and keeps me engaged to see all the colors forming in the beanie. and it somehow looks quite neutral, even though there is a million little specks of color. Somehow this makes me very happy too, and I just like how the colors are merging together, and it is so soft. This is one of the blown yarns that has some polyamide or some kind of cord, and then there is the wool, it's blown here on top of the cord, so it's very fluffy and soft and non-itchy. I still have this one left, so I might make another smaller version of this for my daughter, because she is still in the age that she would like to match with me, and I think that soon it might end. She's turning 5 this April, and she still likes the mommy and me matching kind of things, but that might end soon. But yeah, this was the Softie beanie. I have one more finished object, and then we will jump to whips. But this one is still a bit damp, so I'm wondering how I should show it to you. And it is, of course, my Guernsey genser, or Guernsey sweater. As I said, it is still a bit damp, so I'm not gonna stretch it too much. But yeah, here you can see how it turned out. It is so pretty! What can I say? It is humongous and it weighs a lot. It is very heavy. I used Sandnes garn Sunday held double with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair, and I slightly modified the pattern. I just wanted to make this cabling instead of the other one, so it is 2 times here. Now I'm wondering if I should have done this kind of section, which is like moss stitch here before the ribbing, or I don't know, I kind of like it this way. I also unintentionally modified the sleeves, as I forgot to do the decreases here, so this is just straight sleeve. And these modifications I did led to the fact that I ran out of yarn. So I had to order some more and wait to do this much of the ribbing at the end. I think the construction was very fun. It started here at the back, and the back panel is knit up straight, which was fun and different. I have not done any sweaters like that before. And then the front was shaped with increases, and I don't know if I would call them short rows. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. But yeah, this is done, and as I said, it was blocking. I blocked it because it was kind of crimply, and I love it and I can't wait to wear it. I love the colors, I love the oversizedness, I love it. I just want to wear it with, I don't know, I just want to wear it. And now I will put it back so it doesn't stretch while I'm holding it. So that was my finished object. I don't think I have more. Sometimes I just forget what I have done and I just never show them, but I think that was all finished ones. Maybe. I'm quite well known about the fact that I cast on huge chunks of projects and then it just feels like nothing comes ready for the next couple of months and then I suddenly have 11 FOs. So this might be again the time that I have multiple whips and not so many FOs, but that is how I roll. So let's dive into the whips next. First things first, I have this one. This is a test knit for another knit, and this is another ribbed body, and it is so pretty. It looks tiny by the way, but it is entirely made of ribbing, so it stretches a lot. It has many features that I absolutely love, which is deep v-neck. I like v-necks in general, and ribbing, and there is very fun shaping in front here. So it starts here and it dives into the hips, and I think it creates nice curved lines to the waist. I am at this point at the moment. The test knit is already ending and I have not finished it. There should be long sleeves and so on, but it has really somehow hurt my hands to do this much of ribbing on small needles. I'm using 2.5mm needles to get the gauge. I tend to be a quite loose knitter. I used to be very tight knitter, but usually nowadays I am quite loose and I have to use smaller needles to get the gauge. At the moment I am thinking that I will knit the pant section to give feedback, but I think I might rib it back afterwards because this is quite a woolly yarn. Even though this is alpaca, this is Isager alpaca 2, I think, and it is quite scratchy and I'm not sure if I want this in the bikini area, if you know what I mean. Of course it's not gonna go straight to the skin, but I think it might be a bit too scratchy and a bit too sweaty. So I might do it just as a top. So it would need sleeves and that's it. I still like the yarn a lot. I think it might be quite warm and cozy, and this is gonna be one of those staples in my wardrobe. It is very slow and there's a lot of knitting because I think this is a light fingering weight yarn. It is 250 meters per 50 grams skein, so 500 per 100 grams. And 2.5mm needles, so it takes a while. So I'll start the sleeves soon, and yeah, I also love the color. It is nice blend of brownish and grayish strands. I don't know if it shows up here, but it is very nice color, very nice neutral. So at least I have something neutral in my wardrobe. It's not all pinks and greens and mauves and so on. But yeah, this one is going nicely. Next one, what could it be? I think I will show you this. There is not very much to show you on these next ones. This is still very much in the beginning. And this will be the Cardi jumper by Vert and lovely Ines. And this has been on my needles for a while and in my queue for even longer. I think this will be lovely wardrobe stable. I just have had so many other things on my needles lately, so I haven't had the time to put the work in this, but I will get back to it very soon, because I really want the end result here. It is this beautiful cardigan with slightly dropped sleeves and v-neck and beautiful buttons. I was thinking I might get some pearl buttons. That would be amazing. And it is reversible, so you can wear the higher side of the neckline also in front and the buttons on the back. I have this beautiful knitting for olive yarn. There is their merino and their soft silk mohair. They are both in the colorway Sky, which is this beautiful, slightly, just a teeny tiny bit pinkish white. And it is so beautiful. I love it, and the texture is just amazing. And I can't wait to have slightly furry white beautiful basic cardigan in my wardrobe. I already have so many outfits to wear them with. Now I think I just have to go back to the pattern and calculate where I was. You know, when you put down the whip for a while and then you come back and you have no idea what you were doing. And that is me at the moment. I have no idea what I was doing here. And that is what I will have to figure out next with this whip. But it will be so pretty. So pretty. Yeah, and it is so soft. The yarns. Here is another mohair. And this is why people use project bags. Oh my goodness. I hope there is someone else who is like this with yarns. Have a sip. This that I was knitting at the beginning, and this is a very good example of my ADHD-ness. I love to make plans and lists on what I will knit for 2023, but then I find a perfect yarn for another project and I will jump it in front of the queue and start it immediately. But yeah, I don't care. It is okay to change some plans, and I think knitting is supposed to be about enjoyment as well. So if I want to knit this first, it is okay. This will be the Good Grandpa cardigan from Caidree that I actually spoke about in the knitting plans episode, so you can check that out if we're not familiar yet like that. And you should also subscribe. As you might remember, I said that I don't have yarn for it yet. Well, obviously I have yarn now because I have started. So let me talk about them. Boom. It might not be a surprise that it is again knitting for Olive, and this one is the heavy merino and this one is soft silk mohair. The heavy merino is in the colorway Nature, and this soft silk mohair is in the colorway Hazel. And together they make a lovely fabric. Look at that! It is so pretty! Ah! I love it. This one is a bit more warm and this one is cooler, so together they make this neutral-ish, brownish, beautiful beautiful combination. And there's a fun fact: I actually started this with wrong sized needles, and I actually bought needles for this. This is knit on 6mm needles, but I had these lying in my table and I accidentally started them with 5mm needles, and I had actually knit this much already. This is the back panel, so there is not so much done yet. It is a drop shoulder design, so this is the back of the shoulders. But you know what? This is actually perfect gauge for the pattern. So I don't know what happened, but 5mm was a lucky accident for me. And here's a backstory. I usually don't do gauge swatch because I am lazy like that. I do them for sample knits and test knits, but not if I just knit something. I think they would be useful and I might start to do them. I was inspired by my friend Reetta, who was inspired by Petite Knit's swatch wall, and I think I might like to do that kind of thing as well. So I might start swatching. But yeah, that was a lucky accident and I have a proper gauge for this one, so I can just continue knitting. In the pattern it asked for bulky weight yarn, but I think that this combination is okay. This is like DK plus silk mohair. It shouldn't be bulky weight, but I got the gauge, so I think it will be fine. Can we stop for the color for a second? I think it's amazing. It is just like straight from the forest, and it would look amazing with almost anything from my wardrobe. And that is the kind of yarn choices I want to make more this year. As I said, I will try to knit from my stash more this year, and mostly from my stash this year. That is the goal. I did some yarn purchases last week, but some of them were like I had ordered them to the store earlier, so I had to pick them up. But yes, now I have substantial stash and I will knit from it as long as I can. But I am not too strict for myself, and if there is some project that needs yarn, I will probably buy it. But for now, I have plenty. If you would like to see my stash, please comment down below, so I will know and I will flash my stash because I love the yarns. Next up, I still have one more whip. I thought there was more, but I guess not, unless I have lost some whips somewhere. That is also possible. And sometimes they are in my bags, or they are in the sofa, or they are in my working desk, which is here, or they might be anywhere in the house. I still have one, and this is actually not for me. This is for my husband. He's the fan of blues, and I actually have started to crave some dusty blue in my wardrobe. So this is the, if I remember correctly, it is the Musselburgh. What is it, the Musselburgh? Something like that. Beanie that is knit up from the top straight down a long time, and then you will do the decreases, and then you will shove that looks bad. Shove the bottom one inside of the top one, so it will be double. This is for my husband, and it is done on, what was it called? I will put it on the screen. This is lovely organic merino in this beautiful dusty blue shade, and it is buttery soft. My husband is very, very, very prone to itching, and he feels so uncomfortable if something itches. So I think this is a good option for that. He likes the very fitted beanies, so I probably won't do it as long as I would do for myself. And yeah, it will be warm and functional because it's not like huge beanie. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. The pattern is actually quite clever. You can knit this pattern with almost any yarn that is from lace weight to heavy DK, and you start it with from here and then do the increases, and then you will measure your gauge from the beanie, and based on that measurement you can check from the chart how much increases you should be making. So it is very adjustable and I quite like it. And I think there was many sizes from children to adults. So it is very practical and creative pattern. Yeah, There is not so much to see here yet, but there is the increase lines. I think they are quite pretty. Was all of the knits. I would like to cast on so much more. I thought I actually did cast on many things, but I didn't. I might need to fix that. Actually, there was one thing that probably stopped me, and that is that I wanted to cast on the Y top from Knitting for Olive, but that is also ribbing, and I have been knitting so much ribbing lately that I don't want to knit ribbing all the time. But there is some yarn purchases that I will show you, and there is one that I might actually start soon. That is not ribbing. So we will move to acquisitions. If that is not your jam, we will see in the next episode. Here we have the dusty blue I was talking about. It is so pretty. It is a tiny bit, the lighting is making things a tiny bit more muted than they actually are. This is the cotton merino in the shade of dusty blue whale, and it is so beautiful. And this is gonna be the Y top, as well as the silk yarn that I showed in the last episode that was in the color plum rose. I might just need to take a small break because my hands somehow get a little achy when I knit too much ribbing on the small needles. I have a lot of chronic illness, so I need to listen to my body, and if something hurts too much, I need to space things out a bit. So no pushing against bodily boundaries here. Knitting is supposed to be enjoyable. But yeah, I love them so much. I don't know a single person who is so excited about yarn than I am. I have never met anyone. But yeah, this is soft, and because there is also the merino, it is not so stiff to knit with than if it would be just cotton. I really like to knit with this. I knit my Melides top with this one as well, but it was in the deep sea green or dusty sea green, deep sea green I think. This was one of the acquisitions. If you still have something to drink, go ahead. This is what I already talked about. This is the yarn for the Good Grandpa cardigan, and I am actually happy with these purchases, even though I bought more than I thought I would, because there is a purpose for these yarns. I know what I will be making with these, and some of them, they actually make me use the yarn from my stash that has been lingering in there. So I am very happy with these. This one might actually seem a bit like a wild card, but hear me out. Well, it doesn't look so purple on the screen. It is actually a bit more purple. Let me see if I can. Well, it is more bright than it is on the screen. And I decided to buy this because I have this purplish, grayish, pinkish weird colored yarn that I would like to use, but it's so pale and weird shade that it doesn't really suit me. But this combined with that will be amazing. And there is actually a couple of plans that I forgot to say in the English version of the knitting plans video, and one of them was a wrap cardigan. I originally intended to use the ballerina wrap top pattern, and it is a free one, but then I was looking for options, and some of you actually sent me the Robinson wrap top pattern, or wrap cardigan that is, I think, and it is by Florence. I'm not sure what her last name is, but she also has a lovely podcast, and it is her pattern, and it was the best of the wrap cardigans I saw, so I decided that I will buy that pattern and use this and the other yarn for that. It will be so lovely. I will get the other one. So it is this one. It is a bit more pinkish than it is in the video. But yeah, with this it will be more of my shade, and I think it will be amazing. When I filmed the first one, I think I said amazing like 57,000 times in the video. It was so fun to watch afterwards. But yeah, it will be lovely, beautiful, amazing, and I can't wait to knit all of these. And then there is the one thing that I might start knitting next and cast on, maybe today. This one. It doesn't come out right here. It is brown, but it has so beautiful pinkish and mauve kind of layers to it. It is so beautiful. The word of the day must be beautiful. This is called Lumoava Silkki 2. And that would be, if I would translate it, it would be mesmerizing silk 2. So it is a Finnish yarn that is hand dyed. I already swore that I would not buy hand dyed yarns because they are so expensive, but here we are. I have 2 of these. It has 50% of superwash merino wool and 50% silk. It is fingering weight, and the colorway is suklaa, which means chocolate in Finnish. It looks stunning, and it has a lovely shine to it. It is so shiny and drapey. As you can see, it drapes beautifully. And when I was in the store, I was again in my favorite yarn shop, Anna ja Eila. These just came in there, and when I walked there and I saw this skein and I was holding it, I just kept coming back to this yarn and holding it and like petting it because it is so soft and so beautiful. And I almost started crying because I knew that I need to have it, and my wallet doesn't like it because it's not the most affordable yarn. I needed to have 2 because I want to make Sari Nordlund's Kuutar top pattern from this. I think this is perfect for the Kuutar top because it drapes beautifully. It has a high silk content, so it's very nice even though it would be warmer. And the shine, somehow I think it makes it perfect for the Kuutar theme, which Kuutar would mean some goddess of the moon or something like that. I think there is some Kuutar elements in this, and I can't wait to cast on something beautiful with this. I have not usually been one for like browns or like earthy tones, but these kind of browns, I think they are exactly my colors. And I just, yeah, maybe here you can see, this is more like cold brown, and this has much more red and pink and lilac-y parts in it. It is beautiful. But yeah, this will be my Kuutar. And thank you for being here with me and exploring new yarns and new colors and new knits. And there is starting to be more light, like perfectly here at the end of the episode. Maybe we should still sit and knit for a bit. So, how are you? What is in your needles? I would really much like to know. And where are you from? What do you do? It would be so fun to get to know you guys. And I was actually amazed by the amount of comments and nice words and everything you said in the comments of the last video. I did not expect that. And it just, there's no words. Thank you so much. And I will keep making these videos. I will also try to make some Finnish episodes for the ones who don't understand English so well. Also, if you have any questions, you can drop them also down below in the comments. I had very busy week last week. I was working on the webinar materials, and I also was recovering from the flu, and it was somehow a very tough week. And I have had this eczema in my face. You can probably see a bit, and it has spread in my eye, and it is called perioral dermatitis. So an eczema that is around your mouth, basically. That is the name. So I don't feel very photogenic, but here I am trying to make this into a habit, even though I don't always feel like going in front of a camera with eczema on my face. Yeah. Otherwise, I feel better. Yesterday was a very tired day, but I just knit very much. And today there is... Ooh. But today is better day, and I will work, and that is about it. If you want to know more about my work or other things in life, also ask questions. Maybe I can do questions and answers kind of podcast as well. Or I can talk them at the end of the episodes, if you like. But basically I work in the health communications field, and I'm doing a PhD in nutrition and psychology, about the guilt that we feel about food and eating. So, but there is some problems with funding, so it's not going ahead as quickly as I would like, but luckily there is other things to do as well in the work department. So yeah, that is what I mainly do during days and work hours. And in the free time I have a lot of hobbies. I like to knit, I like to hike and go outdoors, I lift weights, I also love to dance and do handstands and try new weird hobbies. I used to be a pole dance teacher. It was fun. And yeah, I also have a child, so a lot of the time in the evenings goes playing board games or reading or playing with the dolls or something like that. Watching. I think it is starting to feel a bit like spring. Maybe there will be a takatalvi, which means the winter is coming back, but yeah. I will have a grant application process going. I actually might have to return one application today and the other by the end of this month, and then I have also a couple of lectures to prepare, and I will host another webinar and that kind of stuff. I will knit whenever I have time. Mostly I knit in the mornings before our child wakes up, and then I knit if I have breaks during work hours or meetings, or if I have some lectures with the PhD program. And in the evenings I also knit a bit, but I don't have so much time in my daily life. I hope this wasn't boring to watch, or I hope this was something that you enjoyed. There will be the color theory for knitters episode, but it will take me a while to film and edit, so please be patient. And thank you for every encouraging comment on the last video. They actually helped me a lot. So with that, I thank you. Thank you for being here. Remember to like the video and subscribe so you can see more of my videos in the future. Have a lovely week, and I hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!